Hi everyone, welcome back to another podcast episode. My name is Alicia Gogan, the host of the Glow Up Secrets podcast, where I help you expand your mind and become more self-aware so that you can glow up into the best version of yourself. I honestly can't even take myself seriously when I'm saying that intro right now because my voice sounds very off. I don't know if it's coming off on camera as like a little bit raspy, but I must have just been screaming my head off in Miami for the past 4 days. I'm back from Miami, and if you're watching on YouTube, that's why I have the braids in, the long box braid goddess braids. They are stunning. I'm gonna have to take them out soon, honestly, but we had a moment. Anyways, obviously, as you guys saw, I did not have a Monday episode because I was in Miami and I just felt like we just needed a little break, that. But I'm happy to be back on the podcast, and I want to talk about a few things. Mainly, I want to talk about the Glow Up Challenge that we are all going to be starting because, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of like sick of my own shit. Like, genuinely, I need to get on a schedule, but also like I just want to commit to something for like 30 days. So I created a 30-day glow up challenge that I want to talk about and bring to you guys so you can start it with me or you can start it whenever you want. I also want to talk about a few Pinterest quotes that really just sparked my interest and something that I wanted to bring to you guys in regards to the challenge and just like really embodying this new version of you and how there's two versions of you. There's a version of you who does nothing and a version of you that does absolutely everything. And I want to talk about cause and effect. I was thinking about this on the plane. I have a lot of thoughts, okay? We're going to go a lot of ways. But the first thing I do want to quickly say is in regards to my book. If you're new here, I have a new book that just came out, The Ultimate Glow Up Guide. You guys sold out the book in Canada. And when I heard this information, I'm not going to lie, I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, there must be a glitch. Like, why? What do you mean? Like, you guys sold it out in Canada. Like, what do you mean it's out of stock? Somehow you guys sold it out in Canada. So thank you so much to everyone who pre-ordered and or just bought on the day of the release. I am absolutely just so incredibly grateful for you guys. With that said, I have not gotten a confirmation date of when the book is going to be restocked in Canada. So please just bear with me and be patient, and I will post on all of my socials when I know it'll be restocked. It should be restocked soon, I'm assuming, but I don't know. I have a publishing house, and then they have a distributor, and they distribute the book to all different types of bookstores and of course on Amazon. Every single type of Amazon, essentially, not every single one, but Europe and Canada, US, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just so grateful, and I just can't even believe it still. It is available still in the US on Amazon, and I'm assuming most bookstores. Also, it is available on Kindle though, so if you wanted that, but I know a lot of people do want the paperback. I personally would, especially to write in the book because it is kind of like a journal guide at the second half. So please be patient. Thank you guys so much. All the love, all the support. There's so many of you guys have already read the book or are reading it, and you guys are just feeling very moved by the book. So I'm excited to hear that feedback. Also, I just got word from my publishing house that my book was the #1 new release on Amazon US, which again, crazy. I can't even, I have no words. I am so grateful, and I just hope that this book really transforms and helps those who have been in the same type of cycles and struggles that I have been on a pursuit to glowing up into the best version of yourself, themselves, whatever. And if you guys have read the book though, if you could so generously leave a review on Amazon if you received it from Amazon, or even whatever bookstore you got it online, if there is a review section, that would really help me just hear more feedback, because I know there's a lot of you guys who are silent listeners. I don't get your comments on YouTube or the podcast, whatever. So if you would love to leave a review, please do. I will have the link for the reviews in my description on wherever you're listening to the podcast. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. Thank you guys so much. So because I just came back from Miami, I feel like my brain is all over the place, and I don't know when or where it was that I was even thinking about this idea of cause and effect. Maybe I was on the plane. Maybe I was like in a daydream. I probably was I took Gravol when I was on the plane. So that makes me really sleepy. So I just like, I don't know where I was thinking about this, but I was thinking about the fact that, it's so funny that for me, and I'm sure for many of you guys, we want certain outcomes in our lives. Like we want better health, better relationships, more money, more success, more X, Y, and Z. But sometimes we really don't look at the cause as to why we are not getting this result. And now, obviously, there's so many reasons why we don't have what we have in our lives, and we can't always blame it on ourselves. But the truth is, with most things in life, this is literally like what happens. There's a cause and there's an effect, okay? So let's say if you go to the gym consistently, you will get the effect or the result of a healthier body, better mental clarity, better X, Y, and Z. But sometimes we just get so caught up in this effect, like we focus on the effect and we get mad at the fact that we don't, we're really tired, or we don't have the body, or we don't have the money, or we don't have the success. But we're not really taking a deep look at what is causing all of the effects in our lives. Now, like I said, some things are out of our control, although what is in our control is the way we perceive the thing and how we move through certain circumstances. But a lot of the times, we are causing things in our lives to not go the way we actually want. And I think that this kind of like sparks my real push to want to do like a 30-day glow up challenge, because I take a lot of responsibility for the shit that happens in my life. And I know that I play such a huge role. And so if I want different outcomes in my life, I'm going to have to be the one that takes a new quote unquote cause or step, right? And I'll even give you an example of something that happened last night. And this is like fully just like putting the blame on myself, which is fine, because like we're over here, we learn to love ourselves. We understand that we're not perfect. We don't need to be perfect. Like, unconditionally loving myself and accepting the fact that I am a flawed human being really helps me get out of cycles. And I talk a lot about that in my book, but whatever. So yesterday, what day is it today? Today is Tuesday. So yesterday was the day that I was supposed to basically reset from Miami. So I actually landed in Toronto Sunday, probably like afternoon. I got home around afternoon. That day I just planned to sleep. Like I had no other plans but to sleep, and I literally had zero sleep. Oh my God. I'm going to give you guys a little quick recap of Miami, like I said at the end, but I just knew that day was going to be a write-off. And so I spent that day just relaxing and doing nothing. And then I planned for Monday to not have anything really on my plate. Like I wasn't going to record a podcast episode. I wasn't going to have any one-on-one clients. I wasn't going to do anything like really that I needed to do other than reset. So I wanted to make sure that I was all unpacked. Everything was cleaned. I wanted to get like my food prepped, and I wanted to go to the grocery store. I wanted to do like all this stuff, and I wanted to get into bed early because I wanted to have a proper start to my week on Tuesday morning, meaning today. So unfortunately, I didn't have that much motivation on Monday to do the things that I really wanted to, and I was negotiating myself out of a lot of things. And although, again, like I said, like I am very not too hard on myself and strict on myself, because at the end of the day, like it is what it is, but I didn't get all the things that I wanted to get done. And I also didn't get to sleep at a decent time. I ended up having my sleepy girl mocktail around 6 o'clock, which I was like, okay, I'm going to get to bed at 9 o'clock, whatever. And then I went into bed around 9, and I just was scrolling on my phone. Mind you, like I wasn't really in the best mood, but I was scrolling on my phone, and I'm like thinking like, this is not going to contribute to getting up early. And then because I was scrolling on my freaking phone around 9:30ish, when around that time is when I want to start reading my book and being off my phone so that I can be basically asleep by 10 o'clock so I can get up around 6 a.m. I wasn't doing that. And so like I said, because I was on my phone, my friend called me. And I think my friend called me because I sent her a TikTok right away, and then she called me like right away. And so I didn't want to ignore it. So I picked it up, and she was like telling me like what's been happening in the past like week, whatever. But I knew as soon as I picked up that phone, I'm like, I am not gonna get to sleep at the perfect time that I want to. Now, I'm not blaming her because, for one, I could have just not answered, but two, like, I really did want to listen to what she had to say, and she wasn't like of inconvenient. And I picked up the phone knowing like I wasn't gonna be on the phone forever, and I have the choice. I have the choice to say, okay, like we can talk for a little bit, but then like I have to end the phone call, which I ended up doing. But realistically, like I still could have caused a different effect, and the effect could have been getting off the phone at a decent time to be able to go to sleep still and hit my goals, but I kind of didn't, right? So again, like thinking about how I played a role in that freaking effect. And so anyways, we talked for quite a bit. I think we got off the phone around 10:40. And by then I was kind of like awake, you know, when you talk on the phone and you're kind of like awake again. And I try to put my phone down, and then I'm like tossing and turning all night. I check my phone after like a freaking hour. It's damn near almost 12 o'clock. I don't think I probably went to sleep until 1 a.m. And then of course I woke up this morning. Also, I had a Pilates class planned for 9 a.m. So in my head going to sleep, I'm like, fuck, like I need to get the sleep. And like, I also have a busy day today, meaning like I have therapy, and then I have a coaching call, and I have like all of these things. I didn't have enough time in between to really record, and I wanted to record before the sun set. So like I had all of these things planned, and I'm like, how am I going to do this, that, and the third? And I woke up in the morning and I realized like, you know what? I don't have the mental capacity, the energy, the motivation right now to go to Pilates. And quite frankly, I don't need that. But what I really wanted to do is make sure that I got the podcast episode recorded before my busy day. And that meant I had to not go to Pilates, because Pilates meant I had to walk to Pilates. That takes 30 minutes. I have to go to the Pilates class, which takes an hour, and then walk back home, which takes another 30 minutes. So that takes around 2 hours out of my morning, which I just didn't have. I didn't have the 2 hours because I slept in and I just like wasn't on a schedule. And I'm saying this all because at the end of the day, it's like the reason why I had to miss out on my Pilates class. And again, I could have probably still gone, kind of, but not really. I could have gone, but I wasn't able to because I caused this, okay? I didn't have to answer the phone, or I could have set a boundary, or I could have gotten off my phone at 9 a.m. and then I would have missed the call anyways, you know? So I'm just like, I think about a lot of the things that I really want in my life. Like I want to be going to Pilates consistently. I want to be having energy for workouts. I want to be, you know, doing my self-care. I want to feel glowed up. I want to feel like happy in my life. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I'm not getting those results, and a lot of them have to do with my actions. And I think that realistically, if you want to become the version of you that has everything that they want, you have to see how you are playing a role, and you need to self-correct. You need to course correct. So with that said, we need to start a 30-day glow up challenge. Now, I created this challenge in a very like particular way, and I think that this is going to be able to work with a lot of you guys because so this is the thing. I've been seeing a lot of people doing the 75 hard challenge. And if you don't know what that is, it's like, I actually don't know all the things. I think it is drink 1 gallon of water, do 2 workouts a day, read 10 pages of a nonfiction book, I believe, take a progress picture, and stick to some sort of diet. And you do that for 75 days, which I think that is very hard. And that's why it's called 75 hard. And I just think that it's a little bit too, strict, but also just unrealistic for me personally. So I wanted to create a challenge that was realistic, that I could follow, and regardless if it's 30 days or 75 days, that I could actually follow consistently. So what I did was pick 5 areas of focus that I want to hit every single day. But within that area of focus, I want to give myself a few options so that I don't struggle with being able to like not hit every single goal. Because let's say for fitness, I have a goal of getting into the gym every single day for 30 days. Realistically, that's not going to happen. But what is more realistic is every single day I'm hitting one fitness goal. And in that could be either going to the gym to do weightlifting, a Pilates reformer class, because that's what I do, a hot girl walk because that's movement for me, or like whatever else that I do for movement. And I'm cycling through that. So it's technically like you want to create this wellness menu in a way where you have a few options that are unique to you and relevant to you that you can cycle through. It's not in a way of like you creating this wellness menu so you can like negotiate yourself out of working out. That's why we want to be careful with what we put in our wellness menus. So you have to be realistic. But I just think in general, even on a 30-day cycle, things freaking happen. Also, like you get sore, or also like you go out with your friends. So if we're talking about a certain diet, if you're saying like, I want to eat like only clean foods or only whole foods for like an entire month, like you could try and do that. But realistically for me, that's not going to happen, because there's at least like one day out of the week where I'm not eating at home. So I'm going to have to eat out, and it might not be like the most like home cooked meal, but I still want to be able to have some sort of focus and intention for nourishment for the next 30 days. So anyways, I'm going to read off of each area of focus. I'm going to let you guys know some of the things that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to give you a few more examples. Also, I'm going to talk about when I'm starting this, and I also created a Notion template and a habit tracker for you guys for free, so we'll have that link below. And I should actually mention, the reason why I picked these 5 areas of focus is because these 5 areas of focus really, of course, allow us to look and feel glowed up, but they also allow us to show up better in our lives. So our daily careers, our daily relationships, and just like the overall relationship that we have towards ourselves. So the first area of focus that we are going to focus on for the next 30 days is sleep. Now, you would think that I would be just better with sleep, being somebody who talks about self-development and self-improvement all the time. And it's not that I'm horrible with it, but I definitely need to work on my causation in a way, because a lot of the effects, a lot of the results that I have in my life are due to poor sleep schedule and not sticking to something. And I really want us to focus on sleep, because sleep really does not only nourish us and give us energy that we need and help us heal in so many ways, but like also being on a certain like schedule, sleep-wake schedule, is going to allow us to get more things done in our lives. And I think with you guys, and same with myself, we sometimes struggle with like being productive. We want to get so many things done in the day, but a lot of the times why we struggle with getting the things that we want done in the day is because we are oversleeping. We're not on a good schedule. We, like, again, we don't have any like real bedtime. So we're just kind of going to sleep when we're tired and then waking up. No, we're not doing that. So anyways, we're going to focus on sleep. This is the first thing. So for me personally, my main focus from Monday to Friday out of the 4 weeks of this challenge is going to be having a sleep-wake schedule of making sure that I have 8 hours of sleep. But for me personally, it'll be getting into bed at 9 p.m. and reading my book, off my phone by 9 p.m., but in my bed by 9 p.m. reading my book so that I can fall asleep at least by 10 p.m., which I always fall asleep within like 30 minutes as long as I'm in bed by 9 p.m. and I'm off my phone. Like, it won't take me long. So I'm not really worried about actually falling asleep around 10 p.m. I know that I'll do it. And waking up every single morning at 6 a.m. And most likely I will wake up earlier, but I'm going to keep that set schedule of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. For you, it might be completely different depending on your life circumstance and your lifestyle. And you might even make it every single day, not just Monday to Friday. But for me personally, Monday to Friday at least, I want to do 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and reading before bed. And I think for me, the reason why I'm choosing that is because I know from Monday to Friday, majority of the time I am at home. Like, I don't usually tend to do things socially during the week, but if I do, and I'm going to factor in the weekend, I want to at least give myself 2 days where I don't have to read my book before I go to sleep, but I am still making sure that I'm having my 8 hours of sleep. So whatever it is, like whatever time it is that I am going to sleep, I am going to set an alarm. So that is like what I have on here. And also for another thing for sleep is no phone first thing every single morning. So it doesn't even matter if I have one night on the weekend where I'm getting at home at like 11 p.m. and I'm going to sleep. In the morning, I'm going to make sure that I set my alarm to allow me to have that 8 hours of sleep, which I usually probably just wake up earlier. Anyways, no freaking phone. And especially on the weekends where I might be sleeping in a little bit, I am going to be moving my body first thing. So those are a few things that I have on my list. And that I can kind of like refer back to. Your list might be a little bit different. I wouldn't obviously give yourself like all of these ranges of like every single day is different, right? You want to kind of focus on like two main focus areas, but being realistic, you have weekdays and you have weekends, and not every single day for the next 30 days is going to be absolutely the same. But what are you going to have in place on the days that, let's say, your schedule is a little bit more it's changed a little bit? And that's why like I want this challenge to be really unique to you, and that's why I think sometimes we struggle with, let's say, a 75 hard challenge, because it just might not be realistic for you, let's say, for you to do like 2 workouts a day for 75 days. Like that would never be able to be a thing for me personally. But bring it back to cause and effect. Think about, with every area that I'm going to be talking about, and especially sleep, think about the things that cause you to have poor sleep, the things that cause you to not have energy, the things in your life that play the biggest role in you not getting what it is that you want in your life. So let's say you drink on the weekends, and you drink a lot on the weekends. Well, that is not going to allow you to have the best sleep. And I think about like when I was in college, like the main reason I really struggled with being able to get on a routine, especially on like a Monday or a Tuesday, was because I was drinking on the weekends and I was ruining my sleep schedule. And of course I was really depressed and I was like feeling like crap and I wasn't eating. So it's like, you have to think about the major things that really impact your effect, your result in your life, and address that. So maybe for the next 30 days, you're drinking mocktails when you go out. Maybe you're not going out with your friends, but you're drinking mocktails. Or maybe you're bringing it to 1 glass of wine instead of like 3 glasses of wine so that you can actually get home. Like, you have to think about the biggest cause in your life and how that's affecting you. And it's going to be very personal. And you can use that with every single area of focus. And so for me, bring it back to sleep. I know one of the biggest contributors as to the reason why I won't get to sleep at 10 p.m. is me being on my phone after 9 p.m. And I'll give you like the example, like I just said about last night. The moment that I was on my phone later than 9 p.m., I was scrolling this, that, and then my friend freaking calls me and then I answer. Okay. So of course that's affecting my sleep. Now, you also don't need to be super strict with your areas of focus. Like, we don't need to go super hard and super crazy. Like for me, doing a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. wake up, it works with my lifestyle. I have the capacity to be able to do that. But maybe the only thing you're going to be focusing on in the next 30 days for your sleep is waking up 30 extra minutes earlier in the morning. That's it. That's all you're doing. It doesn't even matter. Maybe you're not even having the same like sleep wake cycle, because maybe you work a shift job. Like I remember when I was serving, like sometimes I would be getting home at 10 p.m., sometimes 12 p.m. Like sometimes you just can't do that. But whatever it is, maybe you're just having your one goal of 30 minutes extra every morning, so that way you can get something done. Doesn't even matter. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's that. Or again, just no phone in the morning, nothing else. You're not even going to do anything in regards to changing a sleep schedule other than no phone in the morning or no phone at night. So you don't have to make it crazy. So make this sleep schedule, make this area of focus very unique to you. The next thing that we're going to focus on is nourishment. So I called it nourishment because I don't really want to call it a diet, but this is going to be very unique to you. So a few things that I have on my wellness menu and I'm going to bring it back to mentioning, these are habits that I've kind of already been living by. So it's not going to be that hard for me to stick to this for 30 days. So you have to be really careful, I think, when it comes to fitness and diet, especially. But for me, next 30 days, breakfast before coffee. And I have been doing this pretty regularly, but I want to get in this habit of doing it and like showing myself it's possible that I can do it for the next 30 days. So that's like my first thing, breakfast before coffee always. And another thing that I'm going to be doing is high protein meals from Monday to Friday. So again, I'm looking at it as like a week view thing. And then meal prepping once a week, at least once a week, which I've been slacking on, which I want to get better at because it's going to help me be able to actually stick to a goal of hitting high protein meals. And on the weekends, if I'm eating out, I want to at least choose something that has high protein. So I'm not going to, again, like I'm not sticking to any sort of diet that's like super crazy. But if I'm going out, instead of getting a, let's say, truffle pasta, which might be really yummy and I could get that, but I'm going to make sure that it has protein in it. Or if they only have a freaking pasta that just doesn't have any protein in it, maybe I'm going for a chicken burger, or maybe I'm going for a beef burger, or maybe I'm getting a salad with chicken. Doesn't matter. I'm just focusing on one thing. So a few more examples, and this can just be dependent on what it is that you want. You could just be focusing on, let's say, one extra glass of water a day, and that's going to be your 30-day challenge for your nourishment. Nothing else, nothing more. If you feel like you can follow that. There's some people who will do like an 80-20 diet where they're eating like 80% healthy in their eyes, whatever that is, and then 20% they kind of just like let themselves do whatever. Maybe it's drinking like I drink athletic greens a lot. This is not going to be something I'm going to be putting into my nourishment because that's just not really my focus right now. But maybe a goal, if you had, let's say you had athletic greens, you're going to have your athletic greens every single morning before you have your coffee or before you have your breakfast for 30 days. And that's it. Like that's the only thing you're going to be doing. Or maybe your nourishment is going to be focusing on making sure to take your vitamins morning and night for 30 days. A lot of us always forget that. Or no caffeine before noon, or afternoon, something. So just thinking about that. And again, when you guys get the template, you're going to see like a few of my wellness things for each category. But of course, you can just like change that and add your own. The next area of focus is going to be movement. So again, making this very unique to you. For me, I personally do weight training in the gym, and I do Pilates reformer, and I do lots of hot girl walks. So what I have on my wellness menu, or my fitness menu really, is leg days 3 days out of the week. And this is just going to be dependent on leaving like 1 to 2 days in between, or depending on how sore I am. Like that's just how I work out. But 3 times a week, I'm going to add 1 upper body and 1 core workout a week, which is something that I have not been doing consistently. So that's going to be a push for me. I'm going to do 1 reformers Pilates class a week because that is something that I just do and I'm going to continue to do. And that's obviously still something that I need to kind of stick to, because even today was the first time that I actually skipped. But another thing that sometimes I will do is I won't pre-schedule my classes in time. So there'll be a week or 2 out of the month where I don't go to Pilates, which doesn't happen that often. But there's definitely been a few months since I've started in the fall time where like maybe like a week or 2 out of the month, I just wasn't on top of it enough. So, that's a normal thing for me, but I'm going to make sure that I'm making sure that I'm pre-scheduling all of my classes. So I make sure I do that. But for you guys, maybe it's kind of similar to me, or maybe it's just adding 1 extra workout in a day if you haven't been working out at all. And this could be something like just a hot girl walk, or an extra 5 minutes of abs on the days that you do work out. And on the days that you don't work out, what are you going to be doing for movement? But every single day, you're going to be committing to doing something with movement. So think about the things that you enjoy. It doesn't always have to be super hard. This is definitely something where I think that we need to give ourselves more options when it comes to our wellness menu, because there's just going to be times where we either don't have the energy, maybe we're too sore, maybe we're on our periods, maybe we just had a really busy day. What is something that you can do? And for me, like I think the best thing, the easiest thing, I guess, to really help me hit the movement goal would be doing a hot girl walk, because those are always like things that I can do. And the reason why, like for me, I have a hot girl walk daily is because I know that I can get a hot girl walk in every single day, regardless of if I even do a workout or not. Because I don't know, I work for myself and I have a lot of time, so there's just no reason why I shouldn't be walking outside, So just thinking about the movement that you really want and adding that into your list. The next area of focus, which this is going to definitely be something that is probably not a harder, but newer focus for me. And I'm excited to do this because I think that this is going to really I feel like I'm going to get really on track with this, which is 1 hour of self-development every single day. So again, this is going to require us to create a wellness menu for sure, because I was thinking, bringing it back to 75 hard, like we could make a goal of just reading 10 pages every single night. And you know what? Maybe that's going to be what you do for your self-development. But for me personally, I know myself. I know not every single day I have the energy or the motivation to read a book. Or, depending on the book that I'm reading, maybe I'm just not in the mood for that. And there's also like other pockets of my time during the day where I can focus on other things. And there's also like there's different forms of learning that I love. I'm such a learner in different aspects. So I want to create a menu where I can kind of cycle through some of the things. So every day I'm going to be dedicating 1 hour to self-development. And on my list, I have a self-development book. I actually have 2 books. So I have Healing Trauma by Peter Levine, which I'm still reading. And I also want to start reading Atomic Habits on my Kindle. So those are going to be the 2 books. One is a physical and one is going to be on my Kindle that I'm going to be like switching through on the days that I do want to read my book. And honestly, maybe I do like 2 of these things a day. But again, the main focus is 1 hour a day. Maybe you guys want to read my book. Maybe that's a lot of you guys will probably be reading my book. The next thing will be a podcast episode or having podcast episodes during the week. So if I can't, get to reading an hour a day or that day, at least I'm going to be listening to a podcast episode on my hawk or walk. Another thing that I have is studying for my course a minimum of 3 times a week. And this is very specific to me because I am in a new course and this is something that I really want to focus on. Now, I hope to do even more of this, but minimum 3 days a week, I'm going to be having in my planner to do this. And so on the days that I am going to be studying, I'm not going to stress myself out about reading my book that night, just in case I just don't have enough time, because the truth is we only have so much time to do all these things. And I know a lot of you guys, you have so many things going for yourself. Like we haven't even factored in the fact that we have careers that we basically work mostly every day, right? Or if we're in school, or we have relationships, or we have children, or we have things going on in our lives. So we have to be realistic about things. We might not be able to get all of them done. Another thing is morning journaling. Now, this is something that I usually do every morning, but this is just going to be in the self-development department for me because maybe there's just a day where I'm not going to be able to get any of these things done, but I can get my morning journaling in. So, I mean, for you guys, depending on what you want to do, maybe you're learning a new skill, you want to focus on kind of like a new hobby, although the hobby can be added into something else that I'm going to talk about. Or maybe even one of the things that you're going to have in your like self-development will be 1 hour of therapy a week. That'll be like one of the days you're going to be doing something, and maybe the next, rest of the days you're going to be doing, you're going to be reading your book or something. So thinking about what do you want to focus on in terms of self-development for the next 30 days, 1 hour every single day. Now, the last area of focus, there is an extra that I'm going to talk about, but the last area of focus in terms of every single day for the next 30 days will be something to do with self-care. Now, I think like a lot of these things that we're talking about right now are forms of self-care, but I kind of am looking at this in terms of physical self-care because I think like a glow up for sure has an aspect of physical something. So I have a few things that I want to focus on, and this is going to be very dependent on your own goals. Maybe you have hair goals, maybe you have skin goals, maybe you just have like you want to start taking care of your nails or your I don't even know, like I was going to say skin, but I already said skin in terms of I'm thinking about like dry brushing or something like that. But for me, I want to do scalp massages. So I want to have oil in my roots of my hair, and I have this like little scalp massage that I want to do 5 minutes a night for most nights. I also have chemical peels that I want to continue to cycle through. I use Dr. Dennis Gross chemical peels at least 3 times a week. I can only really use them 3 times a week. So I'll be using that as a part of my wellness menu. At least one midweek hair reset. So for me personally, I usually try and do an everything shower / like a deep self-care day once a week, which I also have on my menu. And in that's when I do my, I'll do shampoo, deep conditioner, I'll go under the heat cap, I'll twist my hair, like I'll do the whole thing because I have like really curly hair and it just like I'm required to do so much to my hair, but I do want to do at least one midweek hair refresh because my hair just needs it. Like I don't need to do a deep conditioner that day, but I do need to spend some time like really making sure that I have product in my hair, that my hair is not dry, that I'm changing up my hairstyle as well. So obviously, depending on the goals that you have for self-care, focusing on something every single day. Maybe you're doing a bath like once a week. That's like one of the things that you do. Obviously, it really depends. And it also doesn't have to be something super long and drawn out. Like we don't have freaking an hour to do self-care every single day. At least I don't, and I'm not really interested in it. I think some of the days I'll have longer days, but for the chemical peels, that takes all of 5 minutes. Even if you have masks that you want to do, or like eye masks, or maybe you want to do gua sha every single night, that could just take on average 5 minutes. It doesn't need to take very long. The scalp massages, 5 minutes, nothing crazy. And then of course I have my everything showers, which are going to take longer, or doing your nails at home or something like that, but it's not going to be an everyday thing. Now, I do have a section for this challenge, which is a once a week extras type of thing. And this is for my own personal sanity and growth. And I understand that like I'm able to do this once a week. So you might not even like want to focus on this, and you don't have to, but I have on here one solo date night a week and one girls' night in or out. And it doesn't really have to be girls' night, just like friends, like seeing friends, and one deep clean of my place. So when it comes to like solo date night, for me personally, I spend a lot of time at home, especially during the week. Like most of the nights I'm at home. And I don't really like have a ritual other than like I'm basically working every single day during the week. And then like I have like my night routine, I'm winding down, I'm doing my self-development, I'm doing all those things. So it's nothing like really fun. But usually I do have one or two, a lot of the times I stay in on the weekends, but usually I have 1 or 2 nights out of the weekend where I'm not going out and I'm not seeing friends. So what I want to do is dedicate one of those nights to having some sort of solo date night. So, I want to make it like, I want to have it romanticized. I want to paint my candles. I want to do a puzzle. I want to create a cute little wellness mocktail. I want to watch my reality TV shows. Like I want to have a cute little night. I want to cook myself something that's outside of my meal prepped meals, something like that. So that's just a personal goal for me, along with one girls' night in or out. I just personally really want to focus on building the friendships that I do have, and I think that it just really keeps me sane. So I'm going to be focusing on, even if it's during the week, but one night out of the week, I'm going to be seeing friends. It doesn't even have to be at night. It could just be like going for a freaking coffee, but that's going to be something. And then also one deep clean a week. And this doesn't necessarily have to be on a Sunday. I'm trying not to be too strict with myself, but I usually tend to do it on Sundays, but it could just be like 1 hour during the week. So think about anything extra that you guys would want to do, and you can add that, or you could just not, because maybe you just have too much of a schedule. But I think like the best thing for us to focus on is the next 30 days, we're going to be focusing on sleep, nourishment, movement, self-development for an hour, and self-care. That's every single day. And what I did was I created a habit tracker for 4 weeks. So from Monday to Sunday, there's going to be 5 little checkpoints, and you're just going to check off if you've done it. So you can follow this challenge like on your own, but you can also follow with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be posting a lot of the things I'm going to be doing for all areas of focus on my TikTok. You guys know I've been talking about how I want to get back into my TikTok era. So I'm going to be making a lot of content on TikTok. So if you want to just kind of have more motivation and see the things that I'm doing, then definitely follow me on TikTok. My TikTok name is The Glow Up Secrets, I believe. But if you type in my name, Alicia Gogan, you'll find it as well. I'll have it linked down below. But also on my Instagram stories, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I'm always posting on my stories. Every single day I will remind you guys, and I will show you guys that like I've checked off my 5 boxes, just to kind of keep you guys accountable as well. I'm also going to be making a main channel video on how to start your glow up journey as well. So that's going to be coming in the next week. And I'm going to be starting this challenge on February. Let me just check and make sure I got the date. I think I have. Yeah, February 12th. So I just wanted to say this on the Thursday episode so that you guys, if you wanted to start on like the Monday with me, you can. I will obviously mention it on all the episodes moving forward, but I just wanted to say this because, you guys are going to hear this episode whenever you hear it. So if you're hearing this episode 2 weeks later, you don't have to not do this challenge just because you heard it 2 weeks later. You can start literally whenever. I'm being realistic with my time in my life. I've been thinking about this challenge for a while, but I know that starting on the 12th for me, I'll have enough time. Also, I'm a content creator, so I'm making content as well as this challenge. So I need to give myself the proper amount of time to be able to do this and also document it. So that's why I'm starting on the 12th, but you could literally start this tomorrow. You can start it whenever. And I just want to read out this quick quote from Pinterest that I just think it's just a great reminder. And it says, "It's never too late to start again. 5 p.m. on a Thursday can be your new Monday. You don't have to wait until the new year to be better yourself. Time is an illusion. Don't forget that. Just because you woke up at 1 p.m., it doesn't mean you mess up your whole day and that you can't turn the mood around. It's never too late to start again." And I think this is going to be very crucial and a really important mindset to have during the 30 days of your glow up challenge, because there's going to be days where you start late, or you didn't do your self-care at the moment that you wanted to, or it's been all day and you haven't done your workout yet. Getting out of your way and saying you can still do this. You don't have to have all the energy. You can still get this done. Or again, having that wellness menu can really help you in the days where it's like, damn, I woke up, I don't have freaking 2 hours out of my day to do a freaking Pilates class. Whoa, what can I do? Oh my God, now I'm not winning on this glow up journey, and I guess I'm just gonna skip this day. No, for me today, the fact that I couldn't do the Pilates, guess what I am doing after I record this episode? I am going on a hot girl walk. So even though I'm not actually doing the challenge right now, I'm going to still move my body in a different way. And that helps me not feel like I am freaking failing, feeling like I'm not doing things. And I think it's just important because sometimes we are such perfectionists, and if we think that we're not hitting that workout, then oh my God, all my progress is lost and I'm not doing this, that, and the third. No. So I just want you to remind yourself of that mindset. You can start really whenever, and even if you are hearing this challenge, later than I'm actually posting this, you can start whenever. I'm actually going to be starting recording a lot of the content for this challenge this weekend. So it's not even that I'm starting on Monday technically, but I'm just going to be posting the content on Monday. So just wanted to remind you of that. And there was another quote that I just felt like was maybe a little bit relevant, and which is probably the title of this episode and kind of what I was talking about at the beginning. And it says, "Where do you want to be 6 months from now? The time is going to pass either way. There's a version of you 6 months from now that already exists. There's two versions of you ahead. There's the version of you where nothing changes, and there's the version of you where everything changes. But the difference between which one you end up with is completely up to you. Set your goals and intentions," which I think it just brings back to this causation thing. There's a version of you who causes something to happen or causes something not to happen. Okay? You have so much more power than you think. You need to look at your life and you need to see in the areas of your life where you are causing something not to go the way you want. And in the next 30 days, how can you course correct? And coming back to understanding yourself, the most helpful for you to course correct, because, I don't know your circumstance completely, but for me, like I said, one of the main things is being on my phone past 9 p.m. I know that gets me into hot waters, and then that gets me, sleeping in, and then I'm not going to Pilates, and then I'm feeling like I'm having a half-wasted day. And listen, one thing about me is I'll pick myself back up, but I also don't even want to feel like I have to pick myself back up, because I know that I can do these things. I just have to self-correct and course correct. So just thinking about the version of you that you want to be in the next 30 days or the next 6 months, really. Who is she? What habits does she have? What does her wellness menu look like? What does her inner dialogue sound like as well, which is always very huge. And you guys know I'm all about that. We have to talk to ourselves kindly. We have to be loving to ourselves. We have to be, imperfect human beings on this challenge and in life in order to continue to glow up and level up. And I do want to make a main channel video on how to keep your glow up permanent, because I think that's kind of what we're always striving for. And I think I have some really good mindset shifts to keep in mind when it comes to glowing up. But I mean, also, I'm just looking at my book again. Like, I really do think my book would really help you if you tend to find yourself trying to do challenges and you fall off of challenges, you get into cycles a lot, you get into this self-sabotaging behavior. I talk about in my book how essentially we have two main parts that are happening or like playing roles when we are trying to go on a journey of glowing up into the best version of ourselves. One of the parts is we are too strict on ourselves. We have like this energy of like really strict inner critic masculine energy where we try and go all or nothing and we try to be perfect with everything, which is why I've created the challenge to be this wellness menu, to be realistic. And we also have another part of us that is driven to unhealthy behaviors due to realistically self-soothing in a lot of ways, and getting to the root of that is going to be very helpful if you continue to self-sabotage, because you could create all of the healthy habits in the world and we all basically know what we need to do, but getting to the root as to why you continue to not hit those goals is so important. And for me, I realized that on one hand, yes, I was being way too strict and I was being such a perfectionist, but on the other hand, let's say when it came to not nourishing my body correctly, a lot of the times I was emotionally eating and self-soothing because my nervous system was overwhelmed and I didn't know how to handle the stressors of life, and I was operating out of a lot of trauma. And the way that I would self-soothe was to eat a lot of candy and binge eat and just like eat my emotions. And until I learned how to cope with my emotions and let out my emotions and feel my feelings, only then was I able to find myself not wanting any more candy, not feeling the urge to eat and overeat and suppress my emotions through food or unhealthy habits. So if you find yourself falling into unhealthy habits, there's definitely a reason. There is always a reason, and understanding that cause is very, very helpful. And like I said, not always is it technically our own fault. Like, okay, yeah, maybe I was overeating or I was emotionally running to food, but the cause of the effect, which was me going to food, was in childhood, I was overwhelmed and I learned a habit of self-soothing through candy. And although that kept me safe before, it no longer keeps me safe in my adulthood life now. But I didn't understand that when I was an adult. So I would just get mad at myself when I would eat a lot of candy or food or like ruin my quote unquote goals or habits. I would maybe, again, highly suggest you getting my book if you even want to do the 1 hour self-development thing, because I think that would actually be really helpful. To develop yourself, because in order to develop yourself, I really do think that you need to understand yourself and how you operate and why you do the things that you do. And, we're all on this pursuit of glowing up and transforming, but we all have a story. We all have a reason why we do the things that we do. There's always a cause. And I think the more that you discover what that cause is and why you do the things that you do, you'll be able to get out of your way more. You'll be able to understand when you have a trigger and, you're craving some like candy or you want to do something, you understand why it is you're triggered right now. Instead of just being like, I don't know why I'm triggered, I just have to eat. And then you just go and eat, So anyways, that's a little bit of a rant for my book, but I am super excited to go on this journey with you guys. I think we are all desperately wanting a change in our lives. Bring it back to when I said that I was sick of my own shit. I think that's what I said at the beginning. I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to get out of this I guess like depressive slump that I've been in for the past few months, mainly winter season, the shift in zero sunlight, personal things that I've been going through in my life. I've been feeling so much better, like mental health wise. And I think that I took the last few months to really heal and feel my feelings. And I think that this is why I'm doing the challenge now, versus like, when I felt like my life was kind of like all hitting at me at once or coming at me at once, I didn't automatically say, screw it, I'm going to start a challenge and I'm going to change my life and I'm going to glow up, which I used to do. Anytime something bad would happen in my life, I'd be like, oh my God, I need to like rebrand my life. I need to fix everything. But I realized over the years that I don't need to like fix something right now. Sometimes all you need to do is feel your feelings and allow yourself to go through the process of whatever it is that you're mourning, whatever it is that you're feeling. And so that's what I feel like I've been doing in the past few months. And I knew that I was going to intuitively feel when it was ready to start something such as a challenge or a rebrand or something new. And I'm feeling that energy now. So a lot of you guys probably feel the same way, just naturally, slowly coming out of hibernation. I mean, we're still in February, but I think that, I mean, in my mind, I just think that spring is here at this point, but I'm excited. So if you guys are going to be participating in the challenge, let me know in the comments on YouTube. You can also just tag me and show me what you guys are getting up to on Instagram, the Glow Up Seekers Podcast Instagram, or even my main Instagram, Alicia Gogan. Like I said, I'll definitely be posting on TikTok. Main channel video will be coming very soon, or next week it'll be coming. And also the tracker, the template, everything will be linked down below. And I just can't wait to see how we feel in the next 30 days, which I know that we're going to feel great. And think about this for a second, okay? We are getting a head start on our spring/summer glow up. Like, think about this. We start now. We are going to be creating habits that are going to make us feel more energized, more glowed up, more happy in March, which, by the way, like when we're done this challenge, it's already going to be March, which is great. And then we're going to be able to build on these habits, okay? Because obviously it's not going to be done after 30 days. Like, we're going to want to do more things, but we're going to be compounding, which I love the idea of compound interest and just like compounding like habits in general. And I think honestly, over the past year, as much as my life has ebbed and flowed, I have really learned how to slowly build healthy habits. And even now, when I'm doing this challenge, I'm able to do the things on my list based off of the habits that I've been building over the past year. Like, I'm able to do my 3 leg days at the gym because I have done leg days at least once or twice every single week for the past year on average. There's been definitely a few weeks that I've missed, but I have been so freaking consistent at that. And same thing goes with high protein meals. Like, it's taken me freaking all summer to like really focus on high protein meals to be able to now do this for a challenge. So, you know, wherever you're at, obviously start small, but just thinking about the next 3 days after that, we're just going to go up from here, realistically. And I'm so excited, and summer's coming and we're going to feel super hot and amazing. And I just can't wait for the transformation. So with that said, I'll give you guys a quick recap of Miami if you guys are interested. I was gonna vlog, but I just felt like the trip was too short to be able to do that, and I didn't really know like what the situation was gonna be. So anyways, I went to Miami for my cousin's 30th birthday, which was so iconic. In Miami, it wasn't even that warm, I'm not even gonna lie, but it was warm enough. It was like 25 degrees, but it could have definitely been hotter, but I'm totally here for it. So we tried to do as much as we possibly could. The first night we went to Rosa Sky Bar, which is in Brickell, Miami. I don't know if any of you guys live there. I'm sure some of you guys do. Actually, I know some of you guys do live in Miami or like Florida area. Rosa Sky Bar is my freaking favorite rooftop in Brickell. It's so beautiful, so fun, so cute, such a good vibe. The bar is so freaking big. So we all went there, had some espresso martinis. I did meet a guy. But I mean, he like met me, I guess. Like, I wasn't looking. You always find guys when you are not looking, I swear to God, okay? Like, I wasn't even thinking about, like, and it's crazy because going to Miami, you would kind of think like boys, maybe hot guys, because there are some hot guys in Miami. But I really wasn't. I was like there to celebrate my cousin's birthday. Like, I went with 2 other girls and then my cousin, so it was like 4 of us total, and then 2 guys. They were gay, so like they obviously like the most fun time, but they weren't like any like guys, you know. But I ended up going to the bar and this guy started talking to me, so we're just gonna leave it at that. But just know that I did meet somebody from New York, so if you catch me in New York, mind your business. What else did we do? Oh, we went to this other place called Blue Martini, and tell me how, I don't know, somebody was really drunk. They hit my cousin's sangria, like wine glass, and it went all over my white cargo pants. And my white cargo pants are my tried and true cargo pants. Okay. So I was so upset, so sad, but I was just like, whatever, there's nothing I can do about it. And sometimes, like, when things like that happen, you just have to just let it be. And being somebody who's a control freak and somebody who really loved those pants, like, I could have let that ruin my night, but I said, you know what? I'm just going to take it on the chest, and you can't really see it anyways because it's really dark. And we're just going to continue to live, laugh, and love. So RIP to my cargo pants. I really did try and get that wine out. It did not come out. We also went to Live Miami on another night. I think that club is whack. I'm not going to lie. I've been wanting to go to Live Miami. And we didn't go to Live on a Sunday, which is like usually a thing that you do, but we went on a Saturday or Friday. I don't even remember. It was kind of whack, to be honest, and really expensive for no reason. So won't be doing that again. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with clubs because it can be fun because of music, this, that, but I am definitely more of like a rooftop girly, like bar. Like, I love to have conversations. I love to chit chat. And I just feel like at the club, that's not really what you do. Actually, before we went to Live Miami though, we did go to the Versace mansion for my cousin's like actual birthday dinner, which they insisted, but I also wanted him to come, but they insisted that I invite my New York boyfriend. That's what I like to call every guy that I meet anywhere. I just call them my boyfriend. So I have like boyfriends in every state, which is just a joke. But so we invited him, and we all just had this huge round table discussion about politics, economics, and life and business, realistically, which is super fun. And I think, like, in my personal life, I don't know if you guys like know this, but I do talk a lot about politics, and I love talk about politics, economics, business, that kind of stuff. I'm also just like surrounded by friends who like to have those conversations. So that's what we talked about, and it was really fun. Like, there's so many different perspectives, so many different political views, and also like the guy that was there, like, he's from America, so like my cousin was like really intrigued in like having conversations regarding like America and like Canada, this, that. So we did that for a few hours. I will say the Versace mansion food though is like not the best, but the vibes were fun. The vibes were definitely immaculate. We did a lot of day drinking. So we stayed at this hotel called the Mondrian Hotel, I believe that's how you say it. And they had beautiful like waterfront, or like, yeah, I don't know, like waterfront bar. They had a restaurant there where we had brunch, we had dinner there, and they had like cabanas, they had a pool, they had everything. So it was really fun to just like day drink. And honestly, day drinking is elite. I love a good waking up early, being with friends in the sun, having some drinks, going to the pool, and maybe like ending the night with some dinner and then going to sleep. Like, I freaking love that. I think the reason why we don't do that more here in Canada though is we don't really have like day pool vibes. Like, even in the summer when it's nice out, like, you could go to a bar obviously and day drink, but I just think it's just so much more elite when you actually have like cabanas. Like, we have like cabana pool bar here in Toronto, but it's not, I don't know, it's not really the vibe. So anyways, we did that. But on my thing here, I need to get my own hotel room. I am such a control freak. Now, I've done a good job at understanding that things are not going to be perfect when going on trips, on vacation with people. And not to say that anyone annoyed me, because nobody did. And we all had like a really good like room situation and whatever. But I'm such a light sleeper. I also had to get up super early for my flight, and like others didn't. And so I just like did not get the best sleep. And so next time that I go on a trip, like, I really just need to get my own room. Like, at the end of the day, sleep is so important for me in order to be able to rally. Like, I don't do well with no sleep. Like, some people, like a lot of my friends that were on the trip, like, they could like just literally rally. Like, I can't. I had to miss brunch one of the days because I'm like, if you guys want me to go to Versace Mansion and go out after, I am not gonna be able to do brunch today, considering we just went out last night and we got home at like 4 a.m. So I need to sleep. So thankfully I was able to sleep because everyone left, but there was definitely still times where I could have had a nap, but I'm not able to have a nap when like half the people are still awake or like whatever. So I definitely need to get my own hotel room. Like, honestly, the older I get, I'm like, just, I don't know why you even try. But I think that's like it. Like, that's basically all we did. We tried to do, we went to this place called Uchi Miami, I believe, and it was this stunning, beautiful, amazing Japanese food place. So much sushi, so much Japanese food. I didn't even know half the things that I ate. All I knew was it was immaculate. And we met up with a guy who actually is from, well, he lives in Tampa Bay. And then he just like came out and met us. And he just like brought us to this beautiful spot. So he knew like everything to get. And it's so nice to go out with locals. Oh, and another thing is like when you go on vacation, just talk to everyone. Like the way that I made friends with every single person, I made friends with all the concierge guys, like Carlos, shout out to Carlos. He was really cute, actually. Like as soon as we got in there, he was like this, like, I don't know, Spanish looking guy, super cute, took care of us. And it's just funny because like the more that I was welcoming to him, the more that he was welcoming to us. And like, you know, I just asked questions, whatever. And then they started giving us champagne. They started just giving us all of these perks just because you just like have conversations. So always have conversations with the concierge, the front desk, the people who are freaking cleaning your room, the people, the bartenders, people around you. Talk to everyone because you never know who you're going to meet. And then you never know who you're also going to be connected to based off of who you're having conversations with. Like sometimes I feel like we really want like all of these perks. We want to know, like we want to go to the best places and the coolest rooftops, and like we want to get in here and we want to have all these things, but it's like you have to have conversations with people. Like you really do. And even when it comes to like bringing it back to like my boyfriends that I have all across the world, I now have more opportunities to like go to New York if I wanted to, or like go to Nashville if I wanted to, or go to wherever it is I want to, based off of having certain conversations with people, you know. And it doesn't have to be like a romantic thing, like genuinely just being a good person and having conversations with people. So yeah, that's just like how you, and that's just like even how you make friends, right? Again, like I'm bringing it back to like making a joke about like, oh, these are my boyfriends, this, that, but genuinely just having good conversations with people, not expecting a lot, and going through life and just being curious and open and having genuine conversations. I just think that you get a lot out of life from that, and you don't have to try very hard. I feel like sometimes we just think, oh, where do I have to go and put myself, and where do I have to find the most bougie places to go? It's like you don't even have to spend a lot of money or go to bougie places to meet somebody who could be bougie to like bring you out and do something, right? Or like whatever. Like even when I met this guy, like I genuinely just at the bar and we were just having conversations, and I was just open to a conversation with him, and he ended up coming out with us, bought my dinner, all this good stuff. Like very fun, amazing vibe. So anyways, that was Miami. I'm so happy to be home. I am still kind of going through it in terms of getting my energy back, but we are on a good path. The sun is out. We're starting the challenge. I can't wait to start this with you guys. My book is #1 new release, which is crazy. And I'm super grateful. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Everything that I talked about will be linked down below. If you have any more questions as well regarding the challenge, please let me know. And that'll be it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.